What's up, y'all? It's another pro wrestling talk featuring your boy, Blitzball champ Jason Ingram, here on the U to the Tube. So, just wanted to make a quick video recapping and giving my thoughts on yesterday's WWE Elimination Chamber in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I don't expect this to be long, so let's just get right into it. So, had one pre-show match in the form of Rey Mysterio versus The Miz. Of course, The Miz was by himself. Rey Mysterio had his son Dominic with him, ringside. Overall, nothing too crazy with this match. There are a lot of moments where Dominic, was a distraction or kind of, interfered. And then there was a point near the end of the match, The Miz pulled a Eddie Guerrero. He grabbed a chair, was getting ready to use it. Dominic stopped him. And then he figured, this is a good time to pull a Eddie Guerrero. So he gave Dominic the chair, kicked the steel steps behind him, and to simulate him getting hit with the chair. Of course, the referee fell for it. Referee kicked out Dominic Mysterio, removed him from the ringside. And you would think it would have ended up working out in The Miz's favor, but it didn't, as Rey Mysterio was able to reverse into a victory roll and get the 1-2-3 victory over The Miz in the pre-show. Oh, man. So, that's pretty much 3 back-to-back pay-per-views. Oh, well, I guess this is a premium live event. But that's three big-name shows in a row where The Miz has been on the losing side. Honestly, I was really thinking that The Miz was gonna win. Mainly because it's been a while since he's won at a pay-per-view. So, but this is leading to him announcing backstage that he's going to make a phone call to another certain somebody to pretty much, join his side or have his back, pretty much call backup. Now, I know a lot of people are speculating that maybe it's Cody Rhodes, but it's sounding like, rumor is that it's supposed to be Logan Paul, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that, but The Miz has backup on the way. At some point, he's going to have backup. So, we'll see who that turns out to be. I mean, after all, John Morrison's not even there anymore because he got let go, so. Anyways, they opened up the main card of Elimination Chamber with the WWE Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns defending the title against Goldberg. This match was not long. I think this match was like maybe 6 or 7 minutes? Not surprised. The match was unnecessary in the first place, but you know where they're at. This is one of the big events that they have in Saudi Arabia, and legends are going to appear to collect big, ginormous paychecks. And Goldberg's no different. The most that Goldberg really got off is, a couple of spears? And then he ate a guillotine. That's pretty much it. I mean, this wasn't going to be a long match anyway. I'm surprised it even lasted as long as it did. But, it's pretty much a borderline squash job. But maybe it's a good thing that this was the first match so that they could just get it out of the way. But honestly, it was a match that didn't need to happen. It was a very unnecessary match. And of course, the outcome says just that. And now word is, after that, Goldberg is now back to being a free agent. I mean, that's all it really was. It was for a big paycheck. That's it. But, hey, WWE is all about making money, not about quality. So, yeah. Next up, we had the Women's Elimination Chamber match with the competitors Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Doudrop, Nikki ASH, Bianca Belair. Now, Liv Morgan and Nikki ASH were the two that started off. The other four were in pods. So the elimination order was as follows. Nikki ASH was the first to be eliminated. Rhea Ripley eliminated her. Of course, Nikki ASH spent a lot of time trying to run away from Rhea. But Rhea eliminated Nikki ASH. Liv Morgan actually eliminated Doudrop, which I was all for. But I was kind of surprised that they pulled that trigger and let Liv eliminate Doudrop. Which, by the way, Liv Morgan was rocking her Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again, red bodysuit. And of course, Rhea was rocking like a Catwoman bodysuit, which you gotta give WWE some credit on this. All the ladies didn't just wear t-shirts. They actually got to wear, their gear as long as if it was in a way that covered themselves. So they had the opportunity to wear some customized gear as long as it covered all, enough of their body. So I like WWE doing that instead of just everybody just wearing t-shirts from the brand that they're on. You know what I mean? So I was happy to see that. But Liv Morgan eliminated Doudrop. And then Alexa Bliss eliminated Liv Morgan. And, of course, at the end it came down to Bianca Belair. I'm sorry. Bianca eliminated Rhea Ripley. That was back and forth. That was actually pretty intense. And then the final two were Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss. Now, Bianca Belair's pod opened the last because, she won the gauntlet on Raw. And, it was really back and forth between Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair. And it looked like it was pointing towards Alexa Bliss winning this match. Because, she looked very strong coming into this match. And we got to remember, this is Alexa's first match back. From when she was last wrestling. And this is her first match back. So they made her look strong. And it definitely showed. But sure enough, Bianca Belair was able to get the final elimination and win the Women's Elimination Chamber. And she will go on to WrestleMania for a Raw Women's Championship title shot. So Bianca Belair is your winner. It looks like they're potentially putting her in position to right the wrong that happened to her last year at SummerSlam. So, this match was all right. I'm not gonna say this match was bad because honestly, I felt like this match was better than the men's, and you'll understand why when we get to that point. But this match was pretty all right. This match was all right. Next up, we had the tag team match. Naomi and Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. And the stipulation with this match is that Ronda Rousey had to wrestle with one arm tied behind her back. And Sonya Deville came out with her arm in the sling. But once the bell rung, of course, she exposed the real truth. Her arm was fine, took the sling off, and of course, you know, ha ha, Ronda, I tricked you. Which doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. I figured it was a ruse anyways. So, tried to exploit that, but at the end, it wasn't enough. And Ronda Rousey not only was able to get the victory for her team, but as she was getting ready to put the armbar on Sonya Deville, Charlotte Flair left her high and dry to just eat the submission. But sure enough, even with one arm, Ronda Rousey did her thing, submitted Sonya Deville, and gotta give props to Naomi. Naomi looked really good in this match. Man, Naomi is very athletic. She really needs to get another championship run at some point. Like, I feel like we've seen a lot of great from Naomi, but I don't think we've really seen the best version of Naomi, because I really want to see her with a good, legit title run. And I think she's capable of that. They just need to pull the trigger. Very athletic, very gifted and talented. Like, I really want to see Naomi with at least another big, legit championship run at some point. Because that woman is way too talented for her to not be champion again. So I really hope that at some point down the road, you know, the sooner the better, Naomi gets a good size championship run. Singles run, that is. I want to emphasize singles run. But, I mean, this match, I mean, like I said, I like what was showcased, especially from Naomi. And, you know, Ronda Rousey, I mean, she was supporting her blue judo gear. So I thought that was pretty neat. But, I mean, you know, Naomi and Ronda got the victory. And, of course, Ronda has a date with Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania for the blue belt, the SmackDown Women's Championship. So, yeah, there's that. Next, we had the Falls Count Anywhere match. Madcap Moss versus Drew McIntyre. And, of course, Madcap Moss had Happy Corbin in his corner. Pretty much this whole entire time it turned into a 2-on-1. Because, I mean, there was no DQ. There's no DQ in this match. So, yeah, most of the time was spent, you know, trying to double team and trying to do what they can to take out Drew McIntyre. There was a really, really bad spot that happened with the that reverse Alabama slam that Drew McIntyre likes to do. He did the move, and Madcap Moss, I guess, over-rotated or tucked in, like, way too soon, and he actually landed on the top of his head. So, hopefully he's alright, but that was a pretty bad spot. I mean, he legit landed on his head. So, hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it's nothing serious. But, That could have been really, really bad. And like I said, I hope he's okay. I do hope he's okay. But Drew McIntyre, with Angela in hand, took a swing at Happy Corbin. Of course, he ducked, got out of there, and while holding Angela, gave Madcap Moss the Claymore, got the victory, the 1-2-3. I really hope this is over. I hope this rivalry is over so that Drew McIntyre can get back into the singles title picture, because this rivalry is dumb. This rivalry is dumb, and I think it's ran its course. So hopefully that's over with. But, I mean, I really wasn't that into this match, because, I mean, we knew what the outcome was going to be. I mean, just, it's Drew versus Madcap Moss. There's really nothing to think about. Next up, we had the Raw Women's Championship match as Becky Lynch defended the title against Hall of Famer Lita. Me personally, this was the match that I feel like I enjoyed the most out of everything else on the card. Lita looked good. Lita looked good. And, Becky did her thing. I enjoyed this match. I think overall, the match was great. The finish was trash. Now, I know that Lita did take a manhandle slam, but was able to get her foot on the rope to avoid the pin. And then eventually Lita hit both of her finishers on Becky Lynch. She hit the Twist of Fate. She hit the moonsault. And Becky Lynch kicked out. And then as Lita was picking up Becky Lynch, she just gives her, just out of nowhere, just gives her a second manhandle slam to get the 1, 2, 3. This finish was terrible and confusing. Now, I know that earlier Becky Lynch attempted to get a pinfall with the rope for leverage, but of course it didn't work. It backfired. But my thing is this. The last couple of times before the Dewdrop before the Dewdrop match, Becky Lynch has typically gotten the pin using the ropes, the cheap pin. And then now you have her eat 2 finishers back to back. Kicks out. And just out of nowhere, just last bit of energy, hits a second manhandle slam to pin and defeat Lita. They're making her that strong going into WrestleMania. I mean, having Bianca Belair beat her, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just think it's a really terrible, confusing finish. Because it's like you have Lita hit both of her finishers as she kicks out. I mean, shoot. Who's to say that Bianca will win for sure, hitting her with a KOD? Like, it's just, it's little things like that I think about. Because nowadays, finishers, sometimes when they're protected like that, or excuse me, not protected, it makes them unbelievable. You know what I mean? It's like, well, shoot. Lita just used 2 back-to-back finishers. Becky Lynch kicked out. It's like, well, dang. Those finishers might as well be weak. It's the same thing that I said about CM Punk and Wardlow. When Wardlow hit a 9 powerbomb symphony, with the 9th one being through a table, and yet just CM Punk still gets the roll-up small package victory. Like, that powerbomb symphony might as well be weak. I mean, come on. How are you going to hit somebody with 9 powerbombs? That's supposed to be your finisher. The powerbomb symphony. And CM Punk got hit with 9 of them, with the 9th one through a table, through an announce table. And CM Punk still gets a roll-up victory? No. That's trash. I don't care if he was booked to win or lose. That's a really, really bad way of showcasing finishers like that. That's not good. Like, I can understand, like, once in a blue moon, which, sometimes that happens once in a blue moon. But I just felt like in this case, it just really looked ridiculous. I mean, Lita hit the Twist of Fate and hit the moonsault. Those are 2 finishers. You know how in WWE 2K, everybody usually has 2 finishers, or sometimes has 2 finishers? That's what I'm saying. But overall, great match, but just a terrible finish. A terrible and confusing finish. But with that being said, we know for sure we're getting Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, and I'm pretty sure they're going to right that wrong and have Bianca dethrone Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title. Man, could you imagine? Bianca could have been Triple Crown champion at that time, if she would have won the NXT Women's Championship, something that she never won. Came close, but she was never able to win that title. So it's kind of a bummer. She could have been a Triple Crown champion, but well, I mean, she could still do it if she wins the tag team championships, but tag team championship is something that she really doesn't need. So we were supposed to get SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Viking Raiders get their title shot against the Usos. But the Viking Raiders, as they were making their entrance down the ramp, ate a sneak attack from the Usos that ended up ruling this a no contest. Pretty much happened before the bell. No bell ever rung. Ruled this a no contest. Referees had to come down and back the Usos off. They took out the Viking Raiders. Just so stupid. Really, really trashy look. Because it's not like they really did anything super damaging to them. You know, usually that kind of thing, if they were going to take them out, it's usually done backstage. Typically, if it's a pre-match attack, you know, as they're making their entrance down the ramp, usually there's an opportunity for them to recollect themselves, or they get them thrown into the ring and then the bell rings. But nah, it's just right then and there, just a quick attack and then just no contest. That's it. It looked so bad. It looked weak because it didn't look like anything serious, but yet it's ruled a no contest. So just really, really dumb. But that match, thrown out, no contest, really, really stupid. And then the main event was the men's Elimination Chamber match. This was for the WWE Championship. So Bobby Lashley defended against Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, Riddle, AJ Styles, and Austin Theory. Oh, man. This was a terrible main event. I mean, this was already a pretty bad show, but to cap it off with a trash main event and the way that it went down. So, let me address the big thing that stood out. So, everybody was locked into a pod. Austin Theory and Seth Rollins started this match. Everybody else was in pods. Now, there was a spot where Seth Rollins gave Austin Theory a buckle bomb and threw him into the pod that Bobby Lashley was in, breaking the plexiglass and it falling onto Bobby Lashley. At that point, Lashley wasn't able to continue. The referees got him out of the chamber. They diagnosed him with a concussion. Now, to elaborate on this, word is that this was set up to write off Bobby Lashley, who apparently has a legit shoulder injury dating back to Royal Rumble that he suffered taking a German suplex from Bobby Lashley. Because remember, he had the match with Lashley, lost, and then won the Royal Rumble. Lesnar, that is. But Lesnar gave Bobby Lashley in that match a German suplex, and he landed very awkwardly on his shoulder. And apparently, the word is that Bobby Lashley is to be getting shoulder surgery that will keep him out for at least 4 months. So this was their way of writing him off. Really sucks that it had to come down to this. I wish it would have been a different way of them writing Lashley off instead of like this. I really feel like they could have done something different, especially building up to this point. Because you got to remember, like, it wasn't too long ago that we had Royal Rumble and then just, build up to Elimination Chamber. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel like they could have addressed it in a way where Lashley had to vacate the title. You know what I mean? That way it didn't seem like he was defeated in this match. You know what I mean? Because when you look at it, they're looking at this now as Brock Lesnar has pretty much beaten every major black WWE champion. And it's not a great look. I really would have liked it better if they had an angle where Bobby Lashley had to vacate the title and that this Elimination Chamber match would have just been for a vacant WWE Championship. I would have liked that better than the way they wrote them off. The way that they wrote Lashley off in this Elimination Chamber match. That's all I'm saying. But it got to the point where apparently Lashley's pod was supposed to open second to last, and Brock Lesnar's pod was going to open last. But Brock was like, bump this. He kicks the plexiglass door open of his own pod, and he just comes out and just annihilates everybody. Brock legit eliminated everybody, of course, except Lashley. He eliminated Seth Rollins first, eliminated Riddle, then eliminated AJ Styles, just back to back to back to back like it was nothing. The final two came down to Brock Lesnar and Austin Theory, which for a while Brock Lesnar was chasing him around the ring. Theory tried to hide into one of the other pods. Lesnar busted that open, grabbed him out of the pod, and just manhandled him all the way to the point where Austin Theory was legit trying to climb up the chamber and almost escaped out of it through one of those square holes. He was able to fit himself halfway out, and he almost got out. But Lesnar got him back in. They were on top of a pod. He gives him an F5 from on top of the pod, rolls him into the ring. 1, 2, 3, final elimination. Brock Lesnar is once again WWE champion. Just annihilated everybody. With the exception of Bobby Lashley, annihilated everybody in that match. And it was trash. It was trash. But once again, the whole entire time, this was to set up Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Title versus title, winner takes all. This was a trash pay-per-view. I'm sorry, premium live event. Honestly, this was worse than SummerSlam, of last year. Shoot, I'll even go as to say worse than Extreme Rules last year. But yeah, that's the one title change. And Brock Lesnar, once again, is made to look like a Super Saiyan. And just cleans house in this Elimination Chamber match. So, yeah. Trash. Supermassive trash. Let me know what y'all thoughts are. That's all I really have to say. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know the deal. This has been another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the YouTube, the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody gets enough time back from watching this trash event. For those that saw it, I'm sorry that y'all had to deal Deal with that. And for those that didn't see it, be happy you didn't see it. Anyway, have a blessed week. Peace.